Have you ever left a party or even just a quick coffee meeting and felt totally exhausted? Not physically tired, but just mentally drained. You spent the whole time making polite chit-chat, talking about the weather, but you feel completely wiped out. Well, today we're going to dive into the psychology behind why that happens.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Does small talk ever feel like, well, hard work? You know, when you're in a conversation about weekend plans or what you do for a living, and it feels less like a fun exchange and more like a mental workout you never even signed up for.
If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. That feeling of being completely drained after what's supposed to be a simple, easy conversation, it's a real thing. It's not just in your head, and there's actually a pretty fascinating reason why it happens. So what is actually going on in our brains? To really get why small talk can feel like running a marathon, we have to look at how some of us are wired. Let's get into the why behind this whole thing. Okay, so the key idea here, and this comes straight from psychology, is something called high cognitive stimulation needs. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but all it really means is that your brain isn't happy just scratching the surface. It's actively looking for depth, for complexity, for real meaning in your conversations. Let me put it another way. Imagine your brain is hungry for a really good, complex puzzle. Something that can really sink its teeth into. Small talk, in this case, is like someone just handing you the simple instructions on the side of the box, over and over and over again. It's just not feeding that hunger, right? And that brings us to the energy part of the equation. Because you might be thinking, okay, if my brain wants a puzzle, why does getting the simple instructions make me so tired? Let's break down exactly why that chit-chat is so draining. This really gets to the heart of it. Small talk, a lot of the time, just follows a script we all know. How are you? Fine. You? What's new? It can feel like this draining social ritual. But a deep conversation? That's totally different. You're exploring new ideas, connecting dots. For a brain that craves stimulation, that's not draining at all. It's actually energizing. And here's the absolute kicker. The exhaustion isn't coming from just talking to people. It's coming from performing. Think about it. Following that predictable social script, trying to act engaged when your brain is bored, that is so much more tiring than having a real, genuine exchange of ideas. Now, this is maybe the most important part of this whole conversation. Because if you feel this way, it is so easy to start thinking, man, what's wrong with me? But what we really need here is a big reframe. This is the question that probably pops into your head, right? You look around, you see other people breezing through small talk, and you start to wonder, am I just bad at this? Is this some kind of social failure on my part? And the answer, coming straight from research on high intelligence profiles, is a huge, resounding no. It is not a social failure. What you're experiencing isn't a bug in your system, it's a feature. This right here is the reframe. It's not that you're unable to connect with people. Not at all. It's just that you have a strong preference for a different kind of connection. One that's built on real substance and genuine engagement, not just going through the social motions. So what do we do with all this? Well, it all points toward a whole new mindset, a new way to think about social situations that actually works with how your brain is wired, instead of constantly fighting against it. And it's actually pretty simple. It's a 3-step shift. First, just recognize it. Acknowledge that your brain needs that depth. Second, and this is key, see it for what it is, not a flaw, just a preference. And third, start making a conscious choice to prioritize quality connections over those empty-feeling social rituals. When you boil it all down, it comes to this one really powerful idea. You're not bad at small talk. You are simply a person who is seeking quality over ritual. That's all it is. You're just looking for meaningful engagement in a world that often settles for the superficial. So, I'll just leave you with this to think about. Now that you understand the why, it's time to figure out the what. What does a truly quality connection actually look like for you? What does it feel like? Because answering that for yourself, well, that's the first step to finding a whole lot more of them.